beloved Ascension Pioneers, and welcome to another Ascension update. I haven't been really so much online this summer because I was experiencing things of my own, and although this summer was supposed to be, as in sometimes we perceive it to be, something, exciting and thrilling and full of adventure, it seems that always Spirit has something different in mind, and those of us who serve the light of the One and the Holy Spirit, we understand that things just are beyond our perception. So although we haven't really been having much summer here, as in weather-wise, so there's things that just weren't meant to be the way they were, like on my path in regards to retreats, and I haven't had all the resources. So I just knew and felt, although sometimes people are pushing, that it needs to be done through the workings of Spirit, not of the minds of the men, and my own, sometimes. So I want to talk about this time, in particular, what it brought to many of us, what we've been going through as a new expansion on the level of our Ascension journey. What I was feeling these entire 2 months was this, as I was saying, this complete surrender and trust. And we still kind of have sometimes these ideas that we don't always know whether it's from our soul or from our mind. The desire might be of the soul, we have like this vision, but how it comes into being, sometimes we still have these mechanisms of control. And today I want to discuss this, what's been coming through the light of the Divine Mother, because we're just in the time of the Virgo new moon, which is this fulfillment of our true divine purpose through being of service and being humble and being in our own purity light in order to reflect that to the external world and become all these 3 essences of the divine feminine, which is the goddess, the queen, the maiden, and the mother. So you have, again, these always same divine trinity archetypes that you're playing, which is the Father, Mother, and the Child. As they're expressed through the feminine, and those are also expressed through the masculine, but yet they're one. So this light has brought us much of this unveiling, which is what is really that path when you really serve the One, when you serve the One light through full acceptance without in control, when you embrace your spirit guidance in the now, and what is that path that sometimes still comes through your filters and how you perceive your reality through the external senses. And as you know, everything is experience. Nothing is really supposed to be judged in that reference. But I just see that sometimes we still have not yet fully mastered this space of resonance with what is pure meeting space with us and the infinite, the God, the one and only, that light which creates everything. And through the aspect of the Divine Mother, which sometimes I notice people still deny, which is that creation aspect. And I always talk about these two as being one. So loving Creator and creation as one. Because just recently I received this comment on my page, somebody telling me that there is no soul, that I should accept that because people are afraid of just being void and nothing. And how could there be nothing if we are all experiencing these dreams, these realities, what we're creating? There's a world, there's worlds of creation even, and it's just one aspect that I feel many are still trying to deny. They're embracing that vertical, that light, that oneness, but they're not really embracing also the horizontal, the creation, the mother aspect, that which the seed of life flows through, which is the divine womb. And today I want to discuss this because what does it really mean to flow yourself through that womb of the mother, that complete surrender? Because I still notice in my life people don't have complete trust with that. And the people that do live that way, sometimes we are still being stigmated as weird, or how can you live that way? How can you live in that pure trust? What do you know for the next moment? How can you be like this? And they think that you have this grandiose life, or that maybe some people even perceive that you're special in the way how you receive guidance. And it's not really the case. The only case, maybe the only difference is that you're more aware of it. That you have remembered, that you're here to share this remembrance and to make everybody who's available to that, who's receptive to that, to come into that knowing that everybody has the same potential of this expression of their divinity. You can live whatever way you choose to. It's just that you might not choose the same way, but that doesn't mean that another is more special than you. What I've noticed is that sometimes people perceive these, when we associate love more with affection, through infatuation instead of true love. True love, I always feel, is only for the real courageous ones, those who do not fear these external imposed ideas, things that they perceive are still keeping them separate. They create holes instead of bridges, so they create the separation. And just recently I was saying this, that as long as we still do that and you perceive somebody as special and you put them on a pedestal, you create this space. And when there's no bridge, flowing in between. You're constantly going to be in that space of separation. And when you do that, you cannot walk in that presence and that being also, while they're continuously being put on the pedestal, they also can really join with you in oneness. So a lot of times that comes to relationship through masculine and feminine. You know, I've noticed this a lot of times. You say somebody's more aware than me, so I don't deserve to be in their presence, or their vibration is different, so I'm not yet at this level, so I can move in that space. And when we have this perspective, we continuously create and feed this separation. That is why we're here for, to share. And oftentimes I say, well, what is special about, for example, how I live in my life? It's just a way, it's natural to me. I know no other way of living. For me, that is just the ultimate for me in this moment. And I cannot come to another level because this is where I am. And you see, these are all just experiences, but when we perceive them through these filters, when we have so full of these filters, we will never really be able to relate to one another through that motherly love, divine mother love. And I've noticed that sometimes we just are afraid to be fully engulfed in that love, you know, kind of like being in the grand womb of the divine feminine and being afraid to take that final step, that final leap, and being fully consumed by it. You know, can you enter the womb? Can you really enter with full trust? It's something that we still haven't fully mastered. And I see sometimes a lot of people, they perceive that guidance must be a certain way. And before they have everything out straight, Spirit tells them everything, how it's going to go, all of their lives totally outlined, everything already, and then they're going to start walking the path. Well, sorry to disappoint you, but it's just not how it is. You are a divine being, and you're mastering yourselves now on this plane called Earth. This is where we are now. This is our school at this time. And so no matter what kind of soul you are, you might even be a master soul, you are still master in the making here. You will always be a master in the becoming, because the space of creation is the space of the infinite. And sometimes people are too perfectionist about their path, and they only wait for certain steps to be taken and a certain guidance. They think it's going to come a certain way, and then they'll be ready to walk their mission, to walk their divine purpose, because they still have a perspective that this is something they're going to do. The doing comes after you know yourself as your purpose, as your unique blending of energies that is only you. And people who say there is no soul, they completely deny the aspect of this individualization of Source. They completely deny the aspect of creation, and yet they're here, they're experiencing it. And sometimes I notice people who still live in this victim consciousness, who constantly say, well, you know, they might have all the tools, all the resources, everything is there, Spirit always provides everything for you, but they're not seeing it. They're not even looking at it because they're too much in the mind, they're losing the true perspective, seeing through the internal vision, they lack clarity and focus because they too much put the energy into the mind. So this is where they're constantly escaping, all the time, trapped in their own mind. So what's happening is you can have all the tools, all the resources. Everything that you were meant to create with is already here. It's already within you. You're just not noticing it. And therefore you perceive somebody else, well, they're receiving this guidance, so they must be special. They must be chosen one, because there's something different about them. And in fact, this is really not true. And you know it in your heart, you feel it. Because it's just not how it is. And do not be angry at that person. Be grateful, because they're holding a mirror for you, what you also are in truth. You will be unique, but you have that same inner resourcefulness at all times. But if you're not noticing it, and you're constantly putting that bridge, you're constantly putting that separation instead of creating a bridge, you're constantly going to put yourself separate. And you're never going to fully unite with others, because you never really fully unite with your true self in wholeness. So this is something that really, really the Divine Mother aspect is asking us, you know, to do, to embrace. Because Divine Mother, imagine how Source loves. Source loves fully unconditionally. This is the love that no matter what you choose as your experience, even if it's something you call negative, Source loves you enough to allow you to experience everything, because you're just a part, the reflection of it. You're the micro of the macro. And the thing is that this love, you know, like a mother loves a child, they might have an experience, like let's say they want to run away from home, and the mother wants to protect the child, protect them from experiencing this, but at the same time she knows, I can't do that because they want the experience, therefore it means somehow that they need it, and I must learn to accept that, and this is called unconditional love. And we gotta stop doing the fishing, you know? Fishing for our dreams, fishing for the people in our life, fishing for things to come instead of just really becoming it ourselves. And when you're whole, everything comes to you without you chasing for it. It just falls in your lap. I know we might not believe this because we are so in the perception of needing to go get things, needing for it to be hard. And there's so much effort needs to be done, so much strife, pushing against the flow because we think that's our natural state. And let me tell you, it is not. So of course, when you see somebody who's living in a very natural way, you must think either they're hiding something, they're not telling you the whole picture, or they're weird, or, you know, sometimes the other way, if you're infatuated by them, you think they're special or chosen one. It depends from which perspective you're looking at it, but still, it is not the truth of the absolute. The truth is that when you really, really are in your source, you have no such thing as these fears. You know, love the God Almighty with all of your heart, all of your soul, all of your mind, with all of your courage, with all of your strength. And this is what we're doing. We're becoming servants of life. And the Virgo is the archetype of this servant of life. How can I expand in my service without these fears, without the external illusions of this separation? How can I move in unity instead of creating these holes instead of bridges? And saying, wow, you know, I'm so infatuated by this person, but they look too surreal. I even have a friend who's, you know, somebody said to them, you're almost too surreal for me. Or, you know, for example, he said, I don't deserve you. I don't deserve to be with you because I'm not yet at that level. And as long as we continue to do that, we will continue to have a perspective of the person is in this level, I'm at this level, and they grow, but I grow, but we're constantly like running after each other. We're never merging. We're never coming into unity. And this is constantly something that's on the menu for us. Notice where you're still doing that. Instead of saying, wow, this person is acting like this towards me, notice how this person is a reflection of you. This is how it is in relationships. Everything is a complete divine mirror for you in the moment. Even if the person is not reflecting that direct, what they have maybe still inside to illuminate, the same goes for you, but there's something that they hold for you to illuminate. So it might not be the same thing, but something is there, because otherwise you wouldn't be sharing the experience. You would not need it, because we only experience what we need. That is the thing, and that is what we fear. We fear that we're not going to get the right resources, the right tools, that we're going to get something wrong, like a wrong step. We still have those fears, and we need to truly dissolve them with the truth of love. And love and awareness, I always say, go in hand in hand, because they're not separate. Love and awareness, awareness and love, they flow through each other, just like the mother and father flow together and create the aspect. It is this beautiful creation. So notice when you're doing that in your own life. Notice when you have these thoughts that push you somehow away from something instead of merging and blending with it. Even if it's not vibrationally fully aligned with you at this time, you can still merge with it. You can still align yourself to the degree where the alignment is possible, instead of creating this, no, you know, this is where I go, the further I do not go, because then again, it's conditional. So this summer, through my own experiences and my own unfolding, I've just changed so much that I can even hardly recognize myself sometimes, and yet this is something I already am, you see? Like I said, you can have so much awareness on a soul level, and yet if you don't use it here, if you don't embody it, then you don't have it here in the world of creation. And this is why we're here. We're constantly moving out into these external worlds of creation to refine ourselves also through the perspective when we experience these worlds, these realities, these existences. So in a way, when we really get that, when we perceive, you know, sometimes people say only when you're with source you're really in reality. When you're here in the creation, it's all an illusion. The illusion factor only applies to that which you perceive through these filters that you have, that this is all there is. Otherwise, it's not an illusion, it's creation, it's what it is. You're experiencing it, therefore it is real for you in the moment. It exists somehow. Even though it's made out of nothing, it still is something. And because we can't believe that nothing can actually birth something. And because we don't understand yet what the concept of nothing is. When it is source, it is nothing, and yet at the same time it's not. These are concepts that we really need to start embodying and embracing within ourselves to move more into unity. There's not still a lot of people holding the space of pure neutral source love, but also through joy. Remember, joy is the natural vibration of our soul. And they go hand in hand, neutrality and joy. They're kind of like creating this interplay between each other. Those of you who don't believe in that, it's okay. I just really encourage everybody who kind of shares their opinions with others with the work they're doing, Don't do that in a way that makes you override the energy and the space, the sacred space of somebody else, because they're just sharing what they're sharing. I would never go to somebody else's page and banter on them and just say, this is not true what you believe in at this time. This is not what we do in unity. We allow everybody to experience their own. We create our own sacred space. This is where we flow through, and yet we don't interfere with others and what they're sharing. We don't impose ourselves on them. We merge. Merging is not the same as imposing. So in my own experience, I've just noticed so much more of this unconditional love coming through in a way, not just as I know it in the spirit, but as a way to also embody it. So that is why we have these experiences, to embody. And the love of the Divine Mother always asks us and invites us, remember that creation is also a part of who you are. And live it, master it, really fully own it. Become the conscious, responsible co-creator beings that you are, how you were made, how you were created through infinite love. And this is just something that when we are in that space, we trust that everything is as it needs to be. There is no control. We're not sometimes still patient enough for things to come in their own divine timing. We want it to be this way, or otherwise it's not for us. Might not be in this moment, but we still have to allow creation to unfold itself through also other aspects, not just us. It's not about me here. When we have true soul love, we love, for example, when we're in a relationship with somebody, we love the evolution of their soul. That's always our first priority. We don't love what the person gives to us. Unconditional love is not loving what the person brings to you, what they trigger in you. That's one aspect, but you just love them just for being. That's true soul love, and it's enough. All the other things are bonus. And they kind of help you to align with that if you feel so or not. You can always choose your alignments, what you wish to align yourself or not. Don't be a victim. Don't say, well, this person is not delivering this and that. Well, you chose to be aligned with them at this time. And we really got to be mature. And like I said, sometimes we have all the tools and resources, but we don't know how to use them, so we blame everything else, but truly look within to see what are we maybe missing. Is maybe everything already there, but I'm just not using it? These are the questions that now we are here to answer, to come deeper and see always after every experience what we've gained after it. How do we feel now after this experience has passed? When we're in its culmination state, how do we feel? How are we different than we were before? How did this change us? How does this energy that collided with our inner world created a new world, and how we are changed because of that? This is what true love is supposed to be about, not what we give to each other, not what we trigger in each other. That's just one aspect, but truly to feel the profound changes that this creates in our soul evolution and expansion. So something to ponder on. I feel the Virgo new moon time is going to bring so much new potential. There's going to be a lot of new creativity coming in. Just be with yourself. What I'm doing now is I brought all my color pencils and my notebook. Recently I created this beautiful Holy Spirit box for all of my automatic writings. You can see that on my art block. It's very beautiful. I wish to do more of that spontaneous art, and I'm going to work on some new projects as well, as they were developed in my spirit vision and they're going to be now brought into existence. So if you're interested in that, also to inspire your own journey of being creative, of being a sovereign being in your beautiful path, keep tuning in. And as always, I'm sending you so much love, wisdom, and power. Be observant at this time. Much new can be birthed. Just be observant. That's all you need. Be present. Sometimes the mind goes too many places and we can't really be in our root to really feel where we are, where we belong at this time. And remember, belonging is internal. It's a state of being. It's you. So I'll talk to you soon. As always, take care, and bye-bye for now.